Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing 4 by 4. So, if you haven't kind of guessed it already, essentially we have 4 different puzzles today that we're going to be playing, and each of them is a 4 by 4 grid. So, the theory goes, this is going to be relatively quick for each puzzle, but we're having to apply lots of different logics, which will be quite interesting, especially for a Friday morning puzzle. And in the picture here is kind of the best idea I had for a 4 by 4. You can see Sleuth is actually there in the background in one of the Jeeps, and there's a whole bunch of, 4 by 4s that are racing on this desert marathon, rally. Not sure you can call it a rally. Yeah, you can call it a rally. Anyhow, shall we take a look at today's puzzles? And today's rule sets. We're going to do one puzzle at a time. I'm not going to do all the rules up front. So what I'm going to do is just get into each puzzle, explain the rules, solve it, and then move on to the next one. Let's take a look at number 1. So we have Tiny Regionometer by Michael Lefkowitz. So normal 4x4 Sudoku rules apply. I don't think I'm going to need to explain this for each of them. Means place the digits 1 to 4 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 2x2 square. Now the variant for this particular puzzle is the Regionometer. So the box border divides the grey line into segments whose sums must increase in one direction along the line. So if you imagine this cell here is a 1, for example, the next cell along has to be not equal to 1, but essentially has to increase by 1 as we keep going. Then these 2 cells would have to be 3, these 2 cells would have to be 4, 5, 6, etc. Obviously that was a terrible example because that doesn't actually solve as such. But hopefully it's enough to get you started. Now, if you do want to start and discover what a tiny Regionometer is all about, link will be in the description down below. Don't confuse them. There's going to be 4 links, 4 different set of rules. So check puzzle number 1 so you can have a go yourself. And with that said, let me restart this clock, see how I get on. So 1 didn't work. I don't know if there's really a clever way of... Let me try it this way. 1, 2, 3 is the absolute minimum. That would be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And given I've already demonstrated 1 doesn't work, so we know at an absolute minimum that this would be a 2, 3, 3 and 1 to get to 4. This would have to be 5, that would be 1 and 4. This would have to be 6, that would be 1, 2, 3, with 1 and 3 as such. So far is solving. This to be 7 would have to be 3, 4, with a 1 here. And so far I've not found anything. It's almost like it is that. That one gives me 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 2, 2, and looks like it's done. 4. Under a minute. Let's keep going. Let's have a heart and take a look at puzzle number 2. So puzzle number 2, following set of rules, perfect squares by Michael Lefkowitz. Normal Sudoku rules, as in normal 4x4 Sudoku rules apply. Given I've already explained that one, I'm not going to go through it again. Now, every cage sums to a perfect square. If you're not familiar with what a perfect square is, essentially the square root of that number should be an integer digit. Yeah, I think that's correct. So, something like a 1, a 4, and 9 are all perfect squares. A 12 wouldn't be because root of 12 would be something that is totally different. I think I'm onto the right track here. And with that said, if you want to try this puzzle, pause the video now because I'm about to restart the clock and see how I get on with this particular solve. So I think we have 1, 4, 9, and 16. The next one, of course, will be 25. I'm not even sure I can get to 25. I'm fairly sure I can't get to 36. So a single cell, which can only be made up of 1, 2, 3, or 4, this is 1 or 4. 3 cells, clearly not a 1, Clearly not a 4, especially if they're all different. Even if they're not different. Ooh, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say they have to be unique. I could actually do 4. And of course I could do 9 with something like 2, 3, 4. Pretty sure I can't do 16, even if I do 4, 4, 3. Yeah, so this one is 1 or 4. This one is 4 or 9. I'm going to just corner pencil mark these for the moment. This one has to be unique. So given I cannot do 1 and I cannot do 9 because it's too big, with 3 and 4 would only get me to 7. This is in fact adding up to 4. This is 1 and 3, which makes this 2 and 4, which makes this a 1, makes this a 3, makes this 2, 4. The fact that this is 2, 4. So remind me, the options were either it's adding up to 4 or 9. The fact that this is a 2, even if this is 1, 2, that would be another 2. That's 5. So this is definitely going to add up to 9. Right, that's good. What about what's going on in here? What do I know about this one? So I'm tempted to say that this is 16, but how do I prove that? So essentially I have 10 in here, plus another 3 digits that add up to less than 10 because it's minus this one. So it's less than 20, but more than 10. And if it's a perfect square, it's got to be 16. So if this is, if I take away whatever is in the middle here, what would it be to get to 16? Essentially, I would need these and these to be the same. So essentially 2x plus y is 16. Has to be like 7, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. But that would leave a remainder of 3. That doesn't work. So it has to be smaller than 7. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That would be 6, 6. That's 12 plus a 4. That works. Yeah, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. Need a 1 in here. Yeah, it doesn't matter what this is anymore, really. Okay, so this is adding up to 9. Got 2 and 4, no 1. So I'm very tempted to say that this is 2, 3, 4 to get to 9. But I don't have to be unique. Now, let's just think through the possibilities. If this is a 4, these two cells have to add up to 5, and that would either be 1, 4, which is not possible, or 2, 3, which is not possible. So this is definitely 2. This is 4. I need to get to 7 in here, which has to be 3 and 4. That's 4, that's 3, that's 1, that's 3, that's 2, that's 3, that's 2. If I've not made any mistakes, that's a 1 for the finish. Excellent. Well, we're on track. We're going to keep going. Puzzle number 3 is Do Not Go Gentle by Michael Lefkowitz. I'm wondering if that's sort of a reference to Interstellar. Do not go gently into the night. Don't want to give any spoilers about the movie in case you haven't seen it. Rules-wise, we've got, 4x4 Sudoku. Not going to walk you through that one. KROPKI. Digits separated by a white dot have adjacent values. So if this was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 so that they are adjacent or consecutive. Digits separated by a black dot are in a 2-to-1 ratio. If that's a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4 so that they are indeed essentially in a 2-to-1 ratio, as in one cell is double the other. Then we have a very strange rule, nights. So odd digits have an anti-night rule. Odd digits never see another of the same digit in a night's move away. So imagine that this cell here is a 1. Essentially think of chess knight's move. So normal Sudoku would mean none of these are 1. But chess knight, which is essentially 2 steps forward, 1 step to the side, 2 steps forward, 1 step to the side, means that none of these cells now would be 1. So quite powerful, especially in a 4x4. You can see already just how, a single 1 here has allowed me to place all the 1s. At the same time, if it is even, even digits always see at least one of the same digit in a nice move away. So imagine that this cell was a 2, then at least one of these digits is a 2, so that there is at least one cell that is a nice move away that is the same. And that's true for all evens, it's true for all odds. So the fact that I just happen to pick these two cells doesn't matter. It applies to all the cells. This is going to be interesting. It is definitely not going gentle. It's upping the difficulty for sure. Now, if you want to give this a go, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart this clock, see how I get on. So I'm going to think out loud for a second. So this, on a black KROPKI dot from 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 4 with a definite 2 has to be there. Also means that 3 is definitely not on the black KROPKI dot because it can only be joined with a 6, not available from the digits 1 through to 4. And you can kind of repeat this pattern somewhat. The other thing that's occurring to me, and I'm going to just pick some random colors. Let's go with purple and green. Is that the parity across a white KROPKI dot has to flip. Can't be consecutive with 2 odd digits. Can't be consecutive with 2 even digits. So one of these is odd, one of these is even. And now our job is to determine which one it is. And I don't see how we can do that without sort of plugging some stuff in, if I'm honest. Yeah, really not sure about this. I'm wondering if the idea is to sort of focus, because the cells that are in the edges, yeah, they still see every box. And this still sees every box. It just happens to see more of kind of the corner box. It sees 2 cells with nice moves. Is that potentially what it's reaching at? No, it's not. I was going to say that maybe that the core has to be evens, but we already established with the white KROPKI dot that's not true. But could potentially, does it mean that the rest of them have to be even? So if you, let's say that this is a 3. That would mean this is a 3, this is a 3, and this is a 3. And I guess without a 3 on the white KROPKI dot, this would have to be 1, 2. Which I think is fine. I mean, if that's a 1, for example, that's not the 1, that's not the 1, that would be 1. That would be 1. And that would be 1. Yeah, that's fine too. So yeah, I've come up with an example that doesn't seem to break. I'm not quite sure I see the trick to this. Like I said, other than just plugging in some values, but that, I feel like I should be doing a bit better than that. So rather than thinking about all the possibilities of the white KROPKI dot, I think maybe the answer is this made up of entirely even digits or entirely odd digits? Maybe that's the question. Is that 1, 2, or is that 2, 4? So if this is 1, 3, you can see that it gets tricky. That would be even, but that's fine. So if this is 1, 3, that would be 1, 3. And then because of, interesting, because of the way kind of anti-knight moves, neither of these could be 1, 3. It would have to be essentially something that looks like that. Yes, that breaks. Ooh, how do I show you this? Right, so 1 and 3, if this is 2, 4, that would be 1, 3. Now, if that is 1, 3, that is obviously 2, 4. But essentially, 1, regardless of what this value is, that would end up being 1 sees this value and 3 sees this value. So you end up in a very strange situation where apparently 2 and 4 are on the white KROPKI dot, and that doesn't work. So that can't be 1 and 3, because that can't be 2, 4. That has to be 1, 2. This has to be 3, 4. We have a start. It doesn't necessarily help us. Right, so 3, this is not 3. And I know that because it will see it either with Sudoku or with night move. So this is not 3, it's 1, 2, 4. But for it to be consecutive with 1 and 2, that can't be 4. This is 1, 2. Excellent so far. I could probably color these to quickly establish which is which. So this, I guess, would be the green 1, 2. And the green 1, 2, they both see this one with night move. Yeah, but if this is green, it sees the 1, 2 with night move, and the purple sees this 1, 2 with night move. So that can't be the case. I actually have to reverse them. This has to be purple and this has to be green. Is that correct? I think so. Which means that one of these, right, just Sudoku for a second, that's the last 1, 2, and they don't see each other with night move, but I can make the purple 1, 2 see each other with night move because they have to. One of them has to. That would be the 1, 2, and that would be the 1, 2. Lovely. So that is 2. That is 1. I'm going to probably need colors again to finalize the 3 4s. Let's go with another color. Let's go with, I don't know, yellow. I haven't even used blue. Blue and yellow. That would be blue. That would be yellow. That would be blue. That would be yellow. That would be blue. And I can already see yellow doesn't see one another with night move, and blue does. So blue has to be the 4. Yellow has to be the 3. And I'm glad we were able to solve this without essentially bifurcation, just kind of a quick test at the beginning around whether this is 1, 2 or 1 or 2, 4, and it just all fell into place. Lovely puzzle, Michael. Not seen something quite like this before. Right, we're on to the last of the puzzles. So we're on to number 4 here, which is Y-sum by Michael Lefkowitz. And this is about Y-sums, which is not something I've seen before. But helpfully, Michael has actually included an example of that. I'm going to read you the rule, then I'll show you the example, and hopefully that will make it clear. Then we'll get on to the solve. So Y-sums, numbers outside the grid, are the sum of the first Y digits along the row or the column, where Y is the yth digit in the row or column starting from the clue. And the picture helps immensely. So, no, wrong one. Right. So if you focus on this 1, 4, 3, Y here is 3, and essentially the third digit is a 3, and then you sum up all the way back to the clue. 3 plus 4 plus 1 to equal 8. So hopefully that explains it a little bit better than kind of the verbal description I've given you. We have a question mark stands for some number, and not all possible Y-sum clues are necessarily given. Will be very interesting to try this one. So if you want to do so as well, that will be link number 4 down below. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. So let's think about the 6. It could be a Y clue of 2 with a 4. That would work. Another possibility is it's a Y clue of 3 with 1 and 2. So that's a possibility as well. And it can't be anything else. It can't be a Y clue of 1, that would be just 1. And a Y clue of 4 would be 10. So that doesn't work. So essentially we've got the same thing going on twice. Obviously the 3 is not a complete pencil mark, it's just one example. But I'm fairly sure this is a complete pencil mark for these 2 digits. So 1, 2, 4, 1, 2 with a possible 3. Again, I'm just going to highlight the fact that these are not complete, so we can't exactly trust them. But these we can. Now, obviously, the intersection with the with the 5 is what's going to help us. Let's have a think. So I could do 2 with a 3. And I think I have to do 2 with a 3. Don't I? Because it can't be a 1 clue. It's got to be at least 2 digits, because, 1 to 4. And 3 digits would make it a minimum of 1, 2, 3, which is 6. So that is forced. That's 2, that's 3. That's not a 2. Which, if that is a 2, that would be a 4. That's another 1, 4, which forces this to be a 2, which then forces this to be a 1, because I could... Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't. Forces this to be a 3, which then means that this is a 1, 2 pair. Yep. Okay. That is a 4. That is a 1. So that can be a 3 again, and that adds up to 6. And I think we're largely done at this point. We need something with this question mark probably to resolve it fully, though. I can probably place the 3. The rest I don't necessarily know. 1, 4. This is anything, and this is 1, 2. Right, so we need to come up with a digit. Clearly, if this is a 4, that is not the 4th clue. This is not the 3rd clue. This is not a 1. The only place that I think we can make a Y clue is either a 1 here or a 2 there, and they're consistent. That has to be a 2. That's 1. That's 2. That's 4. That's 1. That's 4. That's 1. That's a solution for today's puzzles. Thank you, Michael, for this lovely series. How are we overall in terms of time? That's 21 minutes. That's pretty decent. Hope that you enjoyed this series. This is the 2nd time or 3rd time that I featured just a run of puzzles. I think just the fact that they are 4x4 means that they end up being fairly quick. Let me know if you like this style, and I'll continue to feature them, as in multiple puzzles in the same video. Otherwise, I'll stick to slightly harder puzzles that take a bit more time. Anyway, hope that you enjoyed the puzzles and the video, and see you back for the next one. Bye-bye for now.